Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from the world. This is Learn English Live with me, Anpu, and today we're going to be analysing Aishwarya Rai's accent. She's a famous Bollywood actress. She's even acted in a few films over in Hollywood as well. If you don't know about Aishwarya Rai, definitely go check out some of her films. She's one of my favourite actresses, for sure. I think she's a fantastic actress. She's also acted in a few Tamil films as well. She's just kind of like she's just global. She is absolutely global. So this was actually highly requested, but by my subscribers to analyse her accent. So I thought, yeah, we'll definitely do that today. So I've got, as usual, the iPad ready, and we've got an interview ready to kind of analyse. It's really interesting hearing both of their accents. So we've got Aishwarya Rai's accent, but also the interviewer's accent. We're going to be analysing the key features there. Just wanted to say hello to everybody who has joined this live stream, and let's get straight into it. So let's listen to the first kind of 45 seconds to a minute and try to understand what they're saying, and then kind of break down the features of their accent.
Aishwarya, if there is such a thing as great casting, perfect casting, this has to be it. Get the most beautiful woman in the world, and then cast her as the mistress of evil. You know, that classic combination, beauty and danger, never fails.
Oh, well, I wish I was doing a movie actually. But in the voiceover too, this was fun.
You know, it looks like you're having fun. Look at that promo, and I love the red lips, and I love the line.
So this interviewer's got a really interesting accent, and Aishwarya Rai also has an interesting accent. So let's analyse that. Let's listen back to that again and analyse further.
If there is such a thing as great casting, perfect casting,
if there is such a thing as great casting. So great casting. Casting is where you audition for a movie. So great casting.
This has to be it. Get the most beautiful woman in the world, and then cast.
Get the most beautiful woman in the world, right? So Aishwarya Rai was actually named. I think she won a pageant, like a world pageant. So she is literally one of the most beautiful women in the world. So that's what he's referring to. And then she's playing a particular character. So let's listen to what character she's playing.
Woman in the world, and then cast her as the mistress of evil. You know that.
And then cast her as the mistress of evil, right? Mistress of evil. I would say evil, but he's saying evil. So it's a contrast there. She's the most beautiful woman in the world, but she's playing like an evil character. And then let's listen to Aishwarya Rai's response.
Classic combination, beauty and danger, never fails.
Oh, well, I wish I was doing a movie actually. But in the voiceover too, this was fun.
You know, it looks.
In the voiceover too, this was fun. In the voiceover too, this was fun. So in the British accent, it will be two. She's saying two. In the voiceover too, this was fun. Let's listen to her accent again there.
Never fails.
Oh, well, I wish I was doing a movie actually.
Or I wish I was doing a movie actually. I wish I was doing a movie actually. So she's saying movie, moo. In the British accent, it will be moo. You got movie and movie. Movie and movie. I wish I was doing a movie actually.
And then cast her as the mistress of evil. You know, that classic combination, beauty and danger, never fails.
Oh, well, I wish I was doing a movie actually. But in the voiceover too, this was fun.
You know, it looks like you're having.
So just to explain that a bit more, a voiceover is when you don't actually appear in the film, you just give your voice. So it's voice acting for a particular kind of character.
Look at that promo, and I love the red lips, and I love the line. I love how you're saying it with such sort of, you know, you're clearly enjoying it.
Vicky and Florian did a fantastic job of the styling of the character.
They did a fantastic job. So in the Indian accent, in her Indian accent, it's fantastic job. In the British pronunciation, it would be fantastic job. Sorry guys, I'm just refreshing my page because the comments weren't coming, so I'm just need a minute to just refresh my page. In the meantime, I'd like you to practice fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, I can finally see the live comments. I just had to refresh the page there. So she's saying fantastic.
You're clearly
I think
enjoying it.
Vicky and Florian did a fantastic job of the styling of the character, because even though we were doing a promo, typically of us, nothing.
Even though we were doing a promo, so in her Indian accent it's even though we were doing a promo, in the British accent it would be even though we were doing a promo. So practice that. Even though we were doing a promo, let's listen to that bit again. Even though I was doing a promo,
Did a fantastic job of the styling of the character, because even though we were doing a promo, typically of us, nothing is half small.
even though we were doing a promo typically, so she's pronouncing it as typically, and the British accent would be typically. Typically. So kind of the consonant, so the syllables seem to be more broken up there. Typically, and then we've got typically, right? So let's listen to that again.
Even though we were doing a promo, typically of us, nothing is half small.
Right.
When we do it, we walk the talk literally. So if they were just saying, okay, going to do a promo, we were like, yeah, but if we do it, they've not given us the actual costume.
And I can kind of almost hear American twangs in her accent. So she's saying we're not doing that. Is an American accent, you know? We're not. In a typical kind of classic Indian accent, it would be not, but she's going not. So she's probably picked up the kind of ah sound from the kind of international American accent. But then there are hints of an Indian accent as well when she says typically, right? So let's just listen to that again.
We do it, we walk the talk literally. So if they were just saying, okay, going to do a promo, we were like, yeah, but if we do it, they've not given us the actual costume. But yet they wanted it to look like the character.
Correct.
So we decided to create our own.
So I like how the interviewer goes, correct. Now this is quite a common thing that Indians use. Actually, I've heard it a lot over South Asia in general. I've heard it in Singapore as well. British people will be like, yeah, that's right. But then the interviewer is saying, correct. So I heard that a lot when I was in Singapore, for example. When you're having a conversation and someone agrees with you, they'll be like, correct, yeah, correct. So maybe if you want to practice that, correct. That's like the Indian way of kind of agreeing with someone. But in the British way would be, oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. Look how amazing she looks in this scene here.
They've not given us the actual costume, but yet they wanted it to look like the character.
Correct.
So we decided to create our own.
Look at that.
And we had fun doing that. And the whole idea of a promo is to excite the viewer.
Correct.
To, I guess, get them, pick their curiosity.
Did you hear how the interviewer said correct again?
And want them to discover, the what.
Okay, this is a hard one to say. How is she saying it? So she's saying discover. She discover. Discover. What's interesting is I've often heard the word love being pronounced as low. 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 Right? So she's saying discover. So she's not really pronouncing the V there in her accent. She's saying it a different way. Let's listen to it again.
Their curiosity. And want them to discover, the what.
That sounds really nice. Discover. Discover. I want to do that. I want to listen to that again.
Like the viewer.
Correct.
To, I guess, get them, pick their curiosity.
Right.
And want them to discover, the what.
Discover. Discover. The way Aishwarya Rai sounds, she's incredibly elegant. Just look at her, like the way she's answering those questions. She's very articulate, and yeah, we're just going to listening.
What lies within
this,
the narrative of this movie?
But you're having fun with it. You have to say that line. Would you say it? Would you say it? It's incredible.
Is that the one?
Sabne mera.
Oh, look at you! That's the one that got you. It was fun. It was fun. सबने मेरा प्यार देखा है. अब देखेंगे मेरा गुस्सा.
She looks amazing.
नफरत.
Clearly, the husband approves because Abhishek actually tweeted the trailer and he said, "How cool is this?"
Yeah. He liked what.
Also, that's an interesting way of responding. She says yes instead of saying yeah. She's going yeah, yeah. That's really interesting. That's a really interesting feature. I have no idea where she's got that from. Yeah. Let me know in the comment section where you think Aishwarya Rai picked up that kind of feature there of her saying yeah. So I would never say yeah. I would say, oh yeah, yeah. I would say yeah. So where do you think she got yeah from? Because Americans don't say yeah, do they? So let me know in the comments below. Hope you've had a good think there. Let's listen to her saying yeah again.
Clearly, the husband approves because Abhishek actually tweeted the trailer and he said, "How cool is this?"
Yeah. He liked what we did with that because everything came together so quickly to get the availability. It was all very, very last minute, and then
to get the availability, everything was last minute. To get the availability, so she's saying avail. I would say avail. No, I wouldn't say avail. Sorry, availability. I would say availability. 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 So there's a slight difference there. Let me just kind of say the difference. So she's saying availability. I would say availability. Got avail, 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 avail.
and turn out the way it did,
Right.
I must say, made us all smile and had us happy because.
So even when she says she's saying it differently. So she's going but we would go So she's not going she's going So even the kind of pauses there sound different. Let's listen out for that again.
What we did with that, because everything came together so quickly to get the availability. It was all very, very last minute, and then for it to turn out the way it did,
Right.
I must say, made us all smile and had us happy because because when
But she pronounces because exactly how I would say it. So I'm saying because. No, well, I would say because. Yeah, because. But she's saying because. She's saying because. I would say because. 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 How do you say it? Let me know in the live stream. How do you say the word because? Do you say it as because? Or do you say it as because? There's some really interesting comments going on in the live section right now. But we shall continue.
don't like to do anything that doesn't make you feel
Sure.
content with the work put out. So yeah.
But you know, I remember
Ooh.
quite early
So she's saying, and yeah. So yeah. So yeah. So yeah.
on in your career, Ash, you sort of.
I have to mention, actually, the only people that I've heard saying yeah is like more posh private school educated people in Britain. So people in London don't say yeah. The only person that I've heard say yeah is it reminds me of the phrase gap year. And this is supposed to be a phrase that if you're not from England, you probably won't find this funny. So I'm going to have to explain the joke. So gap year is a way of saying gap year. So going on a gap year is a very common thing that people do in England because when you've grown up in the England bubble, you want to experience the world, right? So on your gap year, a gap year is your year after after your secondary school education before you go to university. You have a gap year, and in your gap year, you tend to travel to different countries and educate yourself about different cultures, try different cuisines, meet new people, etc. So people change that from gap year to gap year because you have to have a lot of money to go on a gap year, basically. I don't really know where the jokes stem from, but people just say it as gap year, and it's supposed to just kind of put a kind of funny twist on like the accent. So the only people that I've heard say yeah is kind of people in the upper class, people who were educated in the top universities such as Oxford and Cambridge. So yeah, those are the only people that I've heard say yeah. I literally haven't heard a Londoner say yeah before. Of course, you can get a Londoner who also went to Cambridge or Oxford. But yeah, I'm just trying to think from my own personal experiences who I've heard say yeah. And so it's really interesting how Aishwarya Rai is saying yes as yeah. I think that's a very defining feature there. It really gives off what class you are. Yeah, you wouldn't hear anyone from a working class background or a middle class background say yeah. Anyway, let's continue watching.
Is that,
Good.
okay, let's take this thing that everyone goes on and on about, which is your incredible beauty, and how do we sort of do something unpredictable with it? Because I'm referring to Khaki, where you're of course the hero of the film, until of course one discovers that she goes on to betray the hero. I mean, do you remember that? I mean, that came at a time when that was quite rare in the movies, right?
See, then I got to work with such fabulous talents, and not enough. I mean, Raji was a fabulous storyteller. in his writing, in his visual narrative. And he and me had been hoping to collaborate from the first year that I joined movies.
Yeah.
So I just want to pick up on the last two words there for today's live stream. We've got collaborate and movie. Let's listen out for those two words again.
In his visual narrative, and he and me had been hoping to collaborate from the first year that I joined movies.
Collaborate, and I would say collaborate. And finally, she says movie. So that's the final word for today.
There were a couple of other projects that were meant to take off that didn't. So eventually, when it turned out being khaki, I still remember, and he was so clever with it.
Correct.
The director's idea also was to narrative, and he and me had been hoping to collaborate from the first year that I joined movies. There were a couple of other projects that were meant.
Movies. So she's saying it as movies. I would say it as movies. So feel free to practice either one of those accents there. Got a really interesting comment that's come through. NP says, people in India who study in convent school have this type of accent, but it's evolving with every generation since earlier it was influenced by the British accent, and now it's being influenced by the American accent. Interesting comment there. I would love to do some more reading about what convent schools are, and yeah, that's really interesting. That's given me some thought to think about. Akash says, can you try the Tom Hardy accent? Of course. I'm going to put that into my planner. Cool. All right, guys, just taking a look through all those comments there. Thanks for your comments. Keep them coming through. You're also welcome to email me as well. I'll put my email in the live stream comment section right now. Feel free to DM me on Instagram. My Instagram is Anpu London. That's my artistic Instagram, and my Instagram dedicated for learning English is Conquer British English. So you can DM me on Instagram. Sana says, could you repeat it as you put the repeat screen? Sure, I'll keep that in mind for next time. All right, guys. Well, I've really enjoyed that. I've really enjoyed analysing Aishwarya Rai's accent. I grew up, watching Aishwarya Rai, films with Aishwarya Rai in it, so it's really nice to be able to do this live stream and analyse her accent. If you've got any more questions, please do send me a message, and I will see you in next week's video, 12 o'clock normal time, which is 4:30 India time and 7 o'clock in the morning New York time. As always, if you've got any video suggestions for these live streams, feel free to send me a message, and I will see you soon. Take care.